This video is about the utility dynamic power control. It just usually sits in the back here. Now the reason I wrote this is because I have this Asus Strix Scar 16 2023 model, and it's a bit of a beast, almost like a Ferrari, but you don't always want it to be noisy. So let me take you a little for a walk around the utility. So it just sits there, you click on it, and you can just click it, pop it up. And what you have, of course, is your load average. And this is one of the things it uses to control your system. So at the moment, it's in dynamic mode, and its current power profile is power save. You can adjust this by just clicking and dragging, and you wait, it pops back, and then it pops onto the new method. And this is because after you set the value, it saves the value, then reads it back and applies it. It seems a little bit ass backwards, but this is more reliable. In any case, so what these thresholds are, where it changes profiles, and it does this automatically. So if you put a little bit of a load on the system, it'll change profiles automatically. And then when I'm saying profiles, you get profile configuration. This is where you configure the profile. Each part of your system has where you can set certain things about your system. This is like the nuts and bolts of profile setting. Other utilities hide this from you, but you can actually set each one. So the path for the CPU governor, you can have performance and power save for my CPU. Other CPUs have more available, and this is where the flexibility comes in. And then options path, this is where it reads the utilities from, or the options from. So you have a set path for EPP, which is the energy preference profile, and then you have the ACPI, and then you also have ASPM. Each one of these have different things you can set about the system, and so you end up with four parts of the system. So in your power save profile, your CPU governor, you can click and you can say, yeah, I want that power save. EPP profile power is the most power saving, and platform, ACPI platform, and ASPM. As you can see, the balance profile has something different, and then performance has everything all full power. So I'm just going to cancel here because mine is set up already, but you can change anything about this. You can also set things disabled if you want to. If it's in dynamic mode like this, it actually runs dynamically. So let's put a little bit of load on the system so you can see how it works. So there's my system, and you can see it's just idling along. Now if we stress it for a second, you'll see my core usage jumps and the load average jumps, and then as soon as that happens, the system kicks into performance mode. You know, you run your system hard, you want the power that you've paid for. Of course, you'll also notice that it's a lot more noisy when that happens. So let's just close that. I'll show you something else while we're at it. So this is the system itself, and you can see fan speeds are actually quite high, and then as the system cools down, you'll see it changes profiles back to balanced, and the temperatures will, well, because I'm not running it hard, temperatures are coming down fairly quick, and fan speeds comes down as well. So this was the original motivation behind this application, is to control the noise the laptop makes. I mean, if you're not using it actively, if you're not running it full bore, you want it to be in power save. Once it kicks into power save mode here, takes a second, of course, then you'll see it actually sometimes even turns off the fans completely. So then your laptop runs quietly and it's not a disturbance. So yeah, we're almost there. Of course, as you drag the window bigger, you can get a bigger screen. So it's in power save, and yeah, you'll see fan speeds comes even more down now. Temperatures are different. Oh, there we go. GPU fan switched off completely. CPU fan will still idle for a bit, and then maybe not a kick off because I'm recording on this laptop. But there you go. One GPU is still running, doing a little bit of encodings there. You can see the system is actually power cycling nicely now. It of course is Asus laptop, so you also have some tunings available to you on this machine. And in power save mode, you can see I've turned down all the power because you're not using it. Don't run it that hard. You can manually change profiles. You say, right, I want a balanced profile, and then the system will not be in dynamic mode anymore. It changes to the profile that you want, and you can see all the power levels have been updated for that. And we'll change that back to dynamic. Of course, when you change the profile, let me just change it to balanced. You'll see your little icon there changes, and back to power save. Yeah, so there's a few more features that you'd like to know about. We'll change it back to dynamic mode. In this case, we are recording with Ops Studio. As you can see, Ops Studio is sitting there. So we can do process matches, and we'll call it Ops Studio. And the process, this is a string that it would look for in a number of running processes, and that's ops. And the way to find that, of course, is do bs minus ef and grep for ops. Then you can see there's user bin ops. You can use the entire string if you want to, or just obs. And then there are two more processes, but this is the one we want to match. And when we match this one, we want to lock it to power save, and we give it a high priority so that it is always power safe no matter what other process matches may be happening. So we'll apply that, and there we see obs is now in the mix, and it should be matching. So obs is now matching and controlling the power state of the system. So now if I were to give it a little bit of a stress test there, you'll see even though the system is higher than this threshold, it's still staying in power save mode. So that's the profile control on power. If we were now to turn off the power, and I can easily do it here, the system of course switches to battery mode and it's discharging. You can see the battery mode there. Also the icon changes to a little battery, so you can see what's happening. One of the things on battery mode that I was supposed to do was to change my auto hides, and for some reason it disabled that, so we'll change that again. On AC we wanted to auto hide, and on battery we want it to be displayed. So we'll save our user features there. So we'll turn our battery back on. It says it's charging, that's fine. And now you can see it's changed my top bar to be always visible. And the reason for that is that it uses power. In fact, there's a whole bunch of things that uses a lot of power, and this is what this power saving features is for. You can change your screen refresh rate, and you can have it to minimum, maximum, or unchange. And this is for AC, that's for battery, and you can enable or disable a feature. Now you'll see there's a whole list of things down here, and those require a confirmation that you are now changing things about your system that is completely up to you, but there's a little bit of an element of danger, because you are writing to devices as root, and if you do the wrong thing, you might end up with an unstable system. So here, this is a very advanced feature. Now, to get the values, you'd use a tool like PowerTop, and I'll just put a little password in there. And what PowerTop does, if you pop over to tunables, it'll tell you that tunables are good. Now, at the moment, I have a few that are saying bad because I'm using that device and I don't want it to be power saving. But all of these are supposedly good. Now, this is because my system is discharging, so let's charge it. We'll stick it onto charging. And now if I click on power, you'll see some of these will change to bad, because the system is now not wanting to be, you see. So these are all the ones that I would actually like to have running properly with full power, but on battery I want them to be in their power saving mode. So if you clicked on it, it gives you the device up there, and if you're quick, you can control C it there, and then in power saving features you can put it in there. Now, it does give you an option here between proc and sys, and the reason for that is I'm trying to contain the user to be in either one of those, because these are virtual file systems, and this is generated by the kernel. So yeah, you could on your device then tell it to be either on all the time or automatically power saving, and yeah, you can see the effects right there. Now it gives you an unprecedented level of control, and let's just show you how bad this can be. If I exit out of this one, sorry. Alright, so let's just give it a little battery. I'm just gonna not save this. Right, so at the moment we're charging a little bit. Let me discharge, and you can see immediately auto hit the panels. So we are discharging with 80 watts, and that will give me half an hour of battery on this laptop. 90 watts. So this machine is quite power hungry, especially when we're recording using both of our GPUs and whatever, and you can see that is quite the power draw. So you're not going to see much power savings here, but I do have a little screenshot that I can share with you. So there we go, discharging at 8 watts. So that's what you get when you run the system with the power saving modes here. So you unplug it from battery, it turns off the GPU and everything else. So power saving features built into this power saving features is actually quite powerful. It copies a lot what other people do, but you actually have a GPU. So you'll just click add feature and it gives you a blank line, and you can delete the feature if you want. So nice and easy. And like I say, just use a utility like PowerTop. Yeah, I think I've showed you everything about this application. Hopefully you'll like to give it a go. There is a word of warning. It conflicts with Power Profiles Daemon, and you usually have a little battery sign here with a lightning on it. That just goes away, but you do get a lot more functionality. Now the reason it conflicts with Power Profile Daemon is that thing also tries to set profiles, and You know, we don't want to do that. We want to have one utility that sets profiles, and this one does it rather intelligently with a full control over what exactly is in each profile that you set. Yeah, so hopefully that's enlightening to you. And yeah, have a fantastic day.